moving right along. Who wants to say that? Anyway, I want to take this opportunity to introduce to you a lady who has recently come to our attention because of the way that her... I'm sorry, oh, it's just one. It's just one. Oh, and by the way, I mentioned John Surge earlier, and he's that a bad cold. You can't quite get rid of him. He's always around.
I brought it, Nick. I brought it.
I know. I can imagine what that car ride was like.
Lost and found. I had Dano too. Can you imagine? We got a donut. It was all over my black pants.
Okay, you have my sympathy.
I'll take
get myself in all kinds of trouble.
I'll take it.
Our next guest speaker has come to our attention because of a rather tragic situation. I think it was her father, was a former naval veteran, or was a naval veteran, and was rather shabbily treated in a hospital in Quebec because he didn't speak French. Mr. Gervais, since then, has passed on, and the hospital, well, I won't steal any of the thunder, but you should be familiar with the story, very recent in the news. Yeah. So I'm going to let her tell the story. It's Michelle Gervais. Michelle, where are you? I know you're here somewhere. Is she here? Going once? Michelle? Michelle Gervais. Going twice. So, okay, well, it's unfortunate, but her story is that her father couldn't speak French and was asking him, an intern, for assistance to the bathroom, or where the bathroom was, or something along that line. And the intern said, we're in Quebec, you speak French. And the hospital sanctioned him somehow, no one knows how, and to the best of our knowledge, he's back at work. And there was a big protest, along with the group from Montreal who's here today, in front of the hospital. One group of people in this country that I hold near to my heart. It is the veterans and the members of the military, because the sacrifices they make for us, not only in the past, but every day. And especially the Navy, because when the Navy's doing its job, you don't know it. They're at sea, they're thousands of miles from home, and they're out there doing everything from seizing drugs to catching pirates and doing what navies are supposed to do. And these guys are the class of the world. So whenever something like this happens to a naval veteran, it really gets my attention. And it gets my blood pressure up. So I would, just on her behalf, I would really love to congratulate or extend our sympathies for the loss of her father, and to thank him for his service, for whatever era he served in. All right, next up, in that case, now, the next speaker is going to be Tom Black. And before I bring him up, Tom Black won't tell you this, but he actually visited my farm once. We were walking the property, and we find this big old hole in the ground over the side of the pool table. And Tom looked over the edge and said, man, that's a mighty big hole. How'd you dig it? I said, damned if I know. I've never seen it before. So we dropped a rock in the hole the size of a baseball, figuring we'd count the seconds till it hit the bottom. We get an idea how deep it is. We didn't hear anything. So Tom looked at me, and I looked at Tom, and Tom looked at me, and I looked at Tom. And after a few minutes, we realized we were looking like ping pong balls. And we said, well, we'll figure out how deep this hole is. We picked up another rock on the side of the computer monitor. Well, Tom picked it up. He's stronger than me. And he chucked that in the hole, and we listened. Still, nothing. Now, there ain't no hole that deep to swallow a rock that big without at least burping. So we found ourselves a railroad tie in the grass a few feet away, and chucked that into the hole, figuring we're going to hear this. Before we got a chance to even watch it disappear, this goat come busting out of the weeds, running hell-bent for leather, straight for the hole, gone. Didn't even wave goodbye. Well, Tom looks at me, and I look at Tom, and Tom looks back at me with this, did you see that look on our faces? And both of us going, yeah, we saw that. And when old Mr. Bloggins walks out of the bush, from just up the hill, just behind us, he's the next farm back. He comes over and says, fellas, Mr. Bloggins, nice day we got here. Yeah, sure is. Fellas, I'm wondering, have you seen my goat? Well, Tom was laughing so hard he can't even breathe. So I said, well, actually, yeah, we kind of did see him momentarily. He just dove down that hole. So Mr. Bloggins walks over and he looks into the hole. He looks up at Tom. He looks at me and he said, that hole? I said, well, Mr. Bloggins, I don't see any other holes. And he said, well, that couldn't have been my goat. Well, Tom quit laughing long enough to ask, how the hell would we know it was your goat? He said, well, it's simple, fellas. Mine was chained to a railroad tie. So that was Tom Black. That was cute. You're supposed to be walking up here while I'm telling that joke.
Save him.
interruption. I should mention that on my show tonight, we're going to have Liz Marshall, who is here in the room somewhere. Where are you, Liz? Oh, she's out for school. Okay. She is here. I have talked to her. I know she's here. She'll be on my show tonight, and I'll tell you, she's got some interesting stuff. This lady is a walking, talking encyclopedia of legislation, regulation, and every other Asian that you can't stand. She knows it inside out, upside down, and backwards. And she's going to be talking to us about something called fin trap. And you want to listen to what she has to say about that. All right. My winger is here.